All right, let's talk about the other major use of completing the square, which is converting quadratic functions from standard form into vertex form. So the steps here are going to be to isolate the quadratic and linear terms together. Then we're going to complete the square, making sure to add the number to both sides of the equation, just as we did when we were solving. Then we're going to write the perfect square trinomial in that quantity squared form. And then unlike solving where we had to do all the square roots and stuff, this time we're just going to isolate y. All right, let me walk you through the example. So first of all, we're going to isolate the quadratic and linear terms together. So the quadratic is the thing that has the square in it. The linear term just has the x. So it means we have to move the plus 10 to the other side. Sorry, the minus 10 to the other side by adding 10. Now we're ready to complete the square. And again, remember, completing the square is adding a blank that makes this into a perfect square trinomial. And again, remember the number that goes there is half of the b, which in this case would be 3 squared. And again, if I could write 9 there, I like to leave it this way because it makes it easier to factor if the number's not pretty. But if I added that to one side, I need to add that same thing to the other side to keep my equation balanced. All right, so now I'm ready to write the perfect square trinomial in factored form, quantity squared form. And again, this is going to be x, and then whatever number was being squared is what goes here. And then on the other side, we've got that 3 squared and that 10, which together make 19. So I have y plus 19. Now in this case, we're just trying to get this in vertex form. And in vertex form, if you remember, it looks like y equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. All we have to do to get this in vertex form is to get the y by itself. So if I subtract 19 from both sides, you can see that this is in vertex form when my a happens to be 1, my vertex is -3, -19. So when we're getting this in vertex form by completing the square, you isolate the linear and quadratic terms, then complete the square, being sure you add the number on both sides, write perfect square trinomial in quantity squared form, and then isolate your y to finish off the process.